No, we do not need to nerf the Eagle Bearer in today's video. Even if you disagree with me, I'm going to make you guys agree with me because what I'm going to tell you in today's video is going to make you guys move over to my side and agree that the Eagle Bearer does not need to be nerfed. Esiva, this is LaserBolt, and boy did I get a bunch of messages today, actually yesterday, telling me, Laser, what are your thoughts in the nerf of the Eagle Bearer? What do you think? What are your opinions? Please let me know. We really want to hear what you guys are saying. So I said, you know what? Let's put up a video together, talk about what the community's saying, because I've heard different sides of the story. I heard people who agree that it needs to be nerfed, and I've also heard the other side of people who are saying that it does not need to be nerfed. I'm going to give you guys my opinion and why I feel that after you guys listen to this video, you guys will also end up agreeing with me that we need to stop the nerf, and we need to make this message as loud as clear as we can, because the devs need to listen before they make this huge mistake. But before we get started on the discussion, I do want to remind you guys about our giveaway. We're giving away 2 free copies of Borderlands 3 for the system of your choice. To join, it's super easy. All you have to do is click the link down below where it says Join Bolt Nation, and you guys will be automatically entered. So good luck to everybody that plans on participating. Man, when I heard people were yelling and screaming and pouting and getting upset that the Eagle Bearer needed to be nerfed, I said to myself, please don't let it be so. Please don't let it be so. And the reason why I'm saying this is because I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a backstory in regards to my channel. So my channel got started with Destiny, and I played a ton of Destiny. And the reason why I'm making the comparison of Destiny with The Division 2 is because they are both loot and shooters, and they work very similar to each other. Now you're probably asking yourself, why is this even relevant to the Eagle Bearer? Well, you guys listen, hear me out, and you guys will understand. So I've gone through the same thing that we're going through right now in the Division 2. I've gone through that in Destiny as well. You know, there was a time when there was weapons that were super duper OP, and these weapons got nerfed. And, you know, I know how it feels to get a really OP weapon, and how does it feel to actually get the weapon nerfed. And I know what tends to happen as we get a progression. So I already have seen the future, technically speaking, in what happens when you have a really good weapon and they nerf it to the ground, and what happens to the community, what happens to the game. So this is where my opinion comes based from. Now, I'm going to go out on a limb and say about a good 40% of the people who actually play the Division have played Destiny, and they kind of know and relate to what I'm going to be talking about. But before I give you guys my complete opinion, we're going to take out the arguments of each side. We're going to talk about what the argument is for nerfing it, and we're going to be talking about what the argument is for actually not nerfing it. So the biggest argument I've heard when it comes to nerfing the weapon is because everybody says that, you know what, the weapon is too OP, and it's not that it's OP in PvE. I haven't heard people complaining, or the same people who are complaining that it's too OP, getting on the boards, going on Twitter, complaining on Reddit, complaining everywhere they can, saying, you know what, they need to nerf this gun because it's too OP in PvE and I'm just shredding the enemy. I haven't heard that complaint. The only time I hear the complaint is because it is too OP when it comes to the PvP side of things. Now, one thing that I do find funny with this argument is the fact that I don't hear the same complaint when other things are too OP. I only hear the complaint when people are having an issue killing other people, and the biggest issue is because that other person has a gun that's super duper OP, when technically they could get the same gun and do the same damage. Now, the argument we get with this is they say, you know, well, I feel like one gun shouldn't dominate the whole PvP aspect of things. We should have a wide variety of weapons. And it's kind of funny because throughout the majority of the Division 2 that it's been out, the one weapon that has dominated PvP has been the P416. And we have heard a little bit, a tiny bit, like a little smidgen of outcry of people saying they need to nerf this gun. But it hasn't been a widespread amount of complaints as the Eagle Bearer. And I'm going to tell you guys why we're getting this big influx of people complaining about the Eagle Bearer that we didn't get the complaint with the P416. The number one reason, the number one complaint that people are complaining about the Eagle Bearer is because they do not have the weapon. Trust me, guys, when I tell you, the big majority of people who are complaining on the forums, on Twitter, all those people do not own an Eagle Bearer. I have seen massive amount of polls asking people if they have the Eagle Bearer, and it is a very limited amount of people who actually own an Eagle Bearer. Now, granted, this does not mean that everybody that's complaining and crying like little babies don't have the Eagle Bearer. Now, I know there are some people who are also complaining who also have an Eagle Bearer, and they choose not to use the weapon. So this is the main argument those the people who want the nerf are saying. Now, let's take a look at the argument of the people who are saying, you know what, the gun shouldn't be nerfed. So the main argument, or the biggest thing I've seen or heard, is the fact that, you know what, the gun is an exotic weapon that you're able to get from the raid, which is the hardest thing you're able to do within the game. And if you actually get a gun from the hardest part, or the hardest thing that you're able to do in the game, the gun should be really good and it should be OP. And if the gun isn't OP, then what is the point of actually doing high-end content if you're not going to be getting a really good reward when you complete that objective? That is the biggest argument we've heard from the people who say that the gun shouldn't be nerfed, and that is the one that most people actually lean to. So now that you guys know both arguments, it is time for me to give you guys my opinion and also give you guys my experience of what I've experienced when playing a lot of loot and shooters. Let's start off with the one argument that I feel that all of you guys will agree with. Even if you guys don't agree with me, I could guarantee you guys we are all going to agree in this one particular statement that I'm about to make. Anytime, guys, we are playing a loot and shooter, there is always going to be a weapon that is the most OP weapon. There is not going to be a single time that you play a loot and shooter that there is not going to be a weapon that dominates either the PvP or the PvE. That is unstoppable. With loot and shooters, there is always going to be either a balanced or unbalanced weapon. I have gone through countless times in Destiny and also in the Division when we have a really OP weapon, they go ahead and nerf that weapon, and then what happens? Another weapon rises to power and we have a brand new meta. That is the reason why metas exist. The only reason why metas exist in loot and shooters is because there are always going to be weapons that have better perks or just have overall better synergy, and that makes that weapon really OP. Now, this is going to happen on any sort of game that you play. If you play Call of Duty, there's always going to be that weapon that has less recoil and gives you a little bit more accuracy. If you play any other game, there is always going to be one predominant weapon that will rule all the other weapons. So regardless if they nerf the Eagle Bearer, and regardless if they buff all the other weapons, there is always going to be that one weapon that everybody's going to want to use and everybody's going to end up using in order to be OP in whatever sort of game type they're playing, whether it be PvP or PvE. I could guarantee you guys 100% that all of you guys are going to agree with this statement. Now, just for example purposes, let's think about what's going to happen if they nerf the Eagle Bearer. This is what's going to happen. Eagle Bearer gets nerfed, P416 goes back to being number 1, and you got your M60 being back number 1 as an LMG. That's what's going to happen. That's technically what's going to happen. Those weapons will go back to being the tier weapons, and of course you have your skill builds which are dominating the Dark Zone. That is technically what's going to happen. So we're not going to be doing anything by nerfing the gun. The only thing we're going to be doing is removing the gun from being part of a meta and putting other weapons in that meta category. Now, I personally believe, and I have said this for Destiny, I also feel that this is the biggest problem with Destiny at the current moment, is if you're doing high level activities, you should be rewarded a OP gun. If for some reason you do not want to do that high level activity, that is not the problem of myself. If you did not want to take the time to actually complete a raid and get the OP weapon, you could get the OP weapon as well. You could go do the raid, get the OP weapon, and go ahead and crush everybody within the Dark Zone. You are not being stopped or disabled from being able to obtain the weapon. Anybody can obtain the Eagle Bearer. All you have to do is complete the raid and have that lucky RNG in order to get the gun. But eventually, if you do the raid multiple times or enough times, you will end up getting the Eagle Bearer. But Laser, that's not fair because we want weapon diversity. I want weapon diversity, but I'm here to tell you guys right now, in a loot and shooter, you will never have weapon diversity due to the fact that it's hard to have weapons that are good for PvP and also PvE. They have to balance them out for both different sets of content, And that is almost impossible to do when you're playing two different game types and trying to balance weapons out. And I know also some of you guys are saying, but Laser, I do not want to be using the Eagle Bearer because it's so toxic. Well, I'm here to tell you guys, you know what? Become toxic as well, because no one goes and plays hockey with a baseball bat. No one goes and plays baseball with a hockey stick. You take a hockey stick to play hockey. You take a baseball bat to play baseball. That is the reason why if you want to go into the dark zone and you want to go play PvP, you take the best weapon available to be able to deal damage to the enemy. You're not going to take a water gun to a gunfight. Come on, boys. Get with the program. Get yourself an Eagle Bearer. Stop complaining. Stop crying in the corner. And get yourself in the raid. Get the Eagle Bearer, max out your skills, and problem solved. The gun does not need to be nerfed. If you are a dev and you are watching this video, do not nerf the weapon. You know what? I'm going to give you guys a better idea. Make another exotic and make it OP as well, so that way we have two different exotics to choose from. And those guys are my final thoughts. I do hope you guys did enjoy the video, and I want to know from you guys, do you guys agree or disagree? Please let me know in the comments section down below. I do hope you guys enjoyed the video and found it informative. If you did, guys, do me the huge favor, drop a like on this video and share this video with your friends, because that does help us out a lot. If you guys would like to show additional love and support, do consider joining the Bolt Nation. To join, it's super easy. All you gotta do is click the link down below where it says Join Bolt Nation, and you guys will unlock exclusive features only found in the channel. Thank you guys for watching, and don't forget WGATAP, and I will catch you guys on the next video.